So welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom, and this is our old friend ShootandScoot in his deadly T67. Had featured quite a lot of his T67 games on this channel, and that's because he plays it a lot, and B, he's very good in it. He's got a superb crew on it, and it just seems to fit with him. I think that always happens. There's tanks that you just seem to love playing, and even in a bad game where there's a poor team, you feel comfortable enough to either carry the game or at least give you really good account of yourself and make sure that the team benefits from, you do as much as you possibly can. So Shoot always does this in his games. He tends to, he pretty much always is very defensive to start with. He'll set himself up in an ambush position, see if he can get some early spots, some early shoots. Caught that SU-76M was absolutely obliterated by that Panzer 1C. So we're on Moravanka. It's a tier 5 games. It's a really nice matchup for the T67. T67, is, if you didn't already know, is the American turreted TD. It's more like a scout TD crossover. It's got very good camo. It's very quick. It's got quite a punchy and very fast firing 76mm gun. It's not the most accurate, and you can see the balloon on this. Even with a really good crew, it takes a long time to aim in. That was a very good shot. Again, there's a bit of a bug on the replay. Didn't see the target's outline. I thought he was behind the crest there, but clearly he wasn't. So Shoot is working around sort of almost like a police dog, shepherding the back line of his friends. Oh, T34, can you hit him? Waiting for him to come out from behind buildings there, maybe. No, still no shot. Yeah, so this is very much how he tends to play, and again, if people, newer players are watching, it's important you find out what your style is. Some people are very much get in your faces. They like playing heavy tanks. They love rushing up and getting close and dirty with the enemy. Other players are fast and furious type players. They love Cromwell. They love to hit or love to mix it up in the light tanks. Others a bit like Shoot, and actually to be honest, I think sometimes my game is a bit like this. I like to sit back and use the TD for what it was designed for, which is an ambusher. And look at that, he's well and truly concealed from the enemy team because all the bushes he's in, although the Excelsior is likely to spot him anytime soon. So he's prioritizing him because, oh no, hang on, there's a bigger fish to fry, and that's the KV1. KV1's got rotten view range, but even so he spots Shoot. And the early shots there, when he was firing through at least a solid bush. And if you know how the bush mechanics work on this game, or in theory work on this game, some of us would question whether it ever actually works properly. If you've got a solid bush when you're firing off back, you just you don't get seen, basically. So, or if you fire through 2 or 3 bushes, then you don't get seen even when you're firing. So his team's struggling. They're holding on, but our team has pushed onto the cap, enemy cap. So basically you've got a sort of rotation of the map here. Oh, nice shot on the 67. You've got one team pushing down one side and the other team pushing down the opposite corresponding side. So it's like a seesaw type situation. Enemy KV-1S is about to clean up our artillery, but we have got a tank in the enemy's cap. So it's 8-all, it's all to play for. Now the enemy have one in our cap. So Shoot's coming back. He's going to use the excellent view range, really good stealthiness of this tank, particularly against Russian tanks who are notoriously poor at visibility, and see whether he can get some shots. The enemy have come off the cap, which can only mean they are coming for Shoot and or the artillery, the grill that's up there. When you see the enemy come off the cap, it's generally for one of those two reasons. They're generally going all in. T-34's come up, having a grow. For some reason didn't push his advantage against the grill there, and paid for it. He got hit multiple times, and then Shoot finished him off. So Shoot's done 1,121 damage and 3 kills. His team looked to be capping out, but here comes a BT7 who looks like he's going all in to basically reset the cap. And sometimes, again, you have to do this when you're in a team game. You have to sometimes sacrifice your tank to reset, and it looks like he was successful. He paid for it. The BDR got him, but he reset the cap. So our team is now down to 3 tanks. There's Shoot, there's the BDR who's in their cap, and a Crusader who's right out on the flank. So now the enemy have another tank in the cap. That's probably that KV1. No, the KV1 Sport's following him. So who would that be? Could be the SU-85, because he was last seen on the hill. SU-85 is a little bit more challenging because the BDR's been cleaned up. So no, it can't be the SU-85, because the SU-85 has just killed the BDR. So who is in the cap? Who is in the cap? Type 91 hasn't been seen all game. You can see that on the team list on the right hand side. There's still a question mark beside the M37 and by the Type 91, and that means that neither of them have been spotted by anybody in this game so far. Any enemy, obviously. So that's interesting. Now, is it the KV1 Sport? Has he gone back into the cap? So Shoot's coming up round the back, seeing what he can do. He's got 30 odd seconds for resetting the cap. He's loaded gold because he wants to make very sure of hitting this target. Oh, it's a Type 91. Doesn't need gold for that. See what he's doing here? He locks on, gets an auto lock, pulls back until he's got a solid bush, and then bammo. 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, and the Type 91's dead, and he was never spotted at any stage doing that. So, good job indeed, as his teammate says. Bit of a waste of using premium there, because the Type 91 has diddly squat armour. Absolutely diddly squat. So, he's still worried about that KV1 Sport, who was last seen heading down the A line. But we came down part of the way down and didn't see him. There's also that SU-85. Our Crusader is going after their last remaining artillery by the look of it. Will he get successful? Shoot's having to really conserve his energy. He is at least full health. However, you'll notice one of the biggest problems of this tank is its lack of ammo. It fires extremely rapidly, and as a consequence you can find yourself running out of shells very, very quickly. He's down to just 17 rounds of standard ammunition, 3 of APCR and 2 of HE. Well, and there's the KV1 Sport. KV1 Sport has gone back to try and deal with our Crusader, which he does. Shoot puts 1 shot into him. Can he finish him off before he escapes? Yes, he can. Nicely done. So he's gone end to end so far. He's rushed, reset his own cap. He's then come back and cleaned up the enemy cap. So, let's take a little pause. So Shoot is on his own. He's on 1,658 damage that we know about. He's got 5 kills. Enemies still have 2 artillery, one of whom clearly knows his job because he's got 2 kills to his name in this game, and the SU-85, who likewise obviously knows what he's doing with that very powerful Russian TD. He's got 4 kills. So this is going to be a little bit challenging. The advantage Shoot has, that I think his view range is going to be far better than any of the other tanks. He's also very, very nimble, very quick, so he can redeploy, and his gun has a far faster rate of fire than anybody else's. However, he is an open top vehicle. You'll notice there is no roof to the turret on the T67, and consequently any artillery that fire at him and manage to land a shell somewhere near that will completely wreck him. Oh, and just as he comes back towards the cap, he notices that it started to the counter started to come down. So it's trying to be really careful to scoot around the edge of the trees there and knock them down. Again, big tip for any kind of newer players out there is try not to knock down trees, because even though you can't be seen, oh, there's one of the RT, see who's doing it again, locked on, pulled back, so the RT can't see him. First shot, bang. It was the first time that RT would have known, unless he had Sixth Sense. And that's how you use the bush mechanics. The first time that RT would have known that he'd been spotted, if he didn't have Sixth Sense, it is to receive that first shell that went straight through his hull. So yeah, that was a good job. So Shoot has now got Top Gun. He's got lost my damage counter, but never mind. He's got about 1800 damage, I believe, and the 6 kills. So really nice job. He's gone from end to end on the map. He's not panicked. He's used the mobility of this thing to redeploy where at all possible. Now, one RT, one SU left. We shall see what we can find. This is an awkward moment because he's probably got the more powerful tank, but there we go. He's probably got the most powerful tank, but the problem is he's up against 2 or 3 enemies, and he could just blunder into them. So he's done a great job so far. He's gone up and down the battlefield. I don't know how much mileage he's done, but he's probably due a refill on the armor. And will that same trick work? Will that same trick? He's going exactly back to where he started, where he went last time and the time before to reset the cap. Oh, knocked over a tree. Not good. Yeah, I think that's what I was about to say. One of the things I would certainly advise all newer players is try and avoid knocking down trees, because even when you aren't spotted, the fact the enemies see a tree going down to their front, to the left, to the right, they know then that there's something there. So just don't do it. No need to knock down trees. I know sometimes there's a childish sense of fun just to knock down things, but don't do it. Or there is the SU. Pulls back again. The SU's obviously got Sixth Sense because he's running. He's running like a bitch. First shot, bang. Second shot, bang. And now he's spotted. Now he's spotted, but he can outshoot the 85. So the SU-85 might... Oh, and there goes the RT. So he's going to make sure he avoids the first shell, because that RT would have one-shotted him. And he's disappeared. He's absolutely disappeared. Oh my goodness me. I was just about to say he can outshoot, he can outload, he can outshoot the RT any day. But then the RT just disappeared on him. So he's trying to spin round him, but he'd already hit him once, and that was it. Good game. Really, really good game. So yeah, really good game there from Shoot, and it shows off the T67 to full glory. It's a wonderfully nimble, stealthy little killer. Big drawback is its lack of ammunition, and the gun aim time is a little bit yuck. You know, even with Shoot in a really highly skilled crew, I forget how many he's got. Certainly he's got 3 sets of skills on this thing, which does make a big difference, a very big difference. So anyway, got an ace tanker, he got a bruiser, he got fire for effect, Radley Walters, the one that everyone loves, which killed 8 or 9 enemy tanks, defender, high caliber, and Top Gun. He flew up and down that map, one end of the map to the other, and reset the cap a couple of times. Got into pretty much identical position. In fact, they were identical position. It wasn't until it was the SU-85 that has a good view range that spotted him when he fired. Up to that point, he didn't spot a sausage. He wasn't spotted by anything, and by using the bush mechanics sensibly, you know, peeking through so he could see the target, then right-clicking to lock the gun onto that target, then pulling back enough where the bushes go solid again, and means that you're probably not going to get spotted, and then he could just unleash his DPM on the enemy tanks. And it worked, because he got 2,212 damage and 8 kills, 1,217 base XP. 32 shells in the end, hit with 26 of them and penned with 24, which is a pretty good ratio. He had reset points obviously of 100 because it can't be more than that. He travelled 6.46 kilometres on that map. He went up and down, up and down, up and down. And again, I think it's one of the, if you've got a TD that's got mobility like this one does, you got to use it. You got to keep pushing. Now the big naughty for Shoot is he fired a lot of premium, so his £81,622 profit resulted in 41,000 credit generated in the game. Because he fired a lot of premium, made you end up with just 3,398 credits at the end of the match. He would have made a loss if he wasn't running a premium account. He had 1,285 XP. Again, if he'd not been running a premium, that would have been 1,217. So yeah, I think it's a really, T67 is a good game. He's inspired me to dust mine back out again. I had sold it some time ago, and then because I didn't really get on with it when I was new to the game. Now I've played a lot more games and I feel a lot more comfortable with it. I'm really enjoying it. I put an old American crew I had in it, and Commander's now got 6 cents, which makes a huge difference in this tank, as it does with any TD or light tank. But I think the T67 is a brute. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a like, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. It makes me feel great. We're rapidly approaching 300 subscribers, which is just amazing. So thank you for everyone who does watch and who comments on the videos. I'll see you again soon, and you know, just remember, it is a game. It's not for real. It's just a game played with computers. So don't take it too seriously, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Gamer Dom out.